Hey there guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Erin. I am a homeschool mom of 4 young kids. My oldest is 9 and in 4th grade, and my youngest is 3 and not yet doing any formal schooling. This is our 3rd year homeschooling and my 8th year teaching in general. I spent 5 years in different forms of public education, and now this is our 3rd year homeschooling, and then we also run a co-op where I teach different subjects to kids as young as 5 all the way to 18. So I still count myself as a teacher with all of that. So this is my 8th year teaching. When I taught in the public education system, I was primarily a 6th and 7th grade English teacher. I also taught 8th, 9th, and 11th grade English classes as well. So I have a pretty wide experience when it comes to language arts. But when I jumped into homeschooling, even though I had this language arts background, there was some insecurities when it came to teaching my own children and making sure that there was no gaps in their learning. So after some research, I settled on the Good and the Beautiful language arts. Looking through the Good and the Beautiful curriculum and seeing how the lessons built on each other, I became very confident that it was a good choice in a language arts curriculum for my kids that would give them the foundation they need while still being fun and still being something very simple for me to teach. There's not a lot of extras on my part that go into it. It's a one and done curriculum. You have everything you need in the curriculum, and that's what I wanted, especially in my first few years homeschooling. And as we've continued to use the curriculum now in our 3rd year, I don't see us looking for anything else. It's something that I'm really happy with, and I can see my kids learning and growing, which brings me to today's video topic. When I first started homeschooling, there was a lot of moments that I wish I could be like a fly on the wall of sorts in other moms' homeschools to see how they went about teaching their kids these lessons. So today we're going to go through a live lesson with my 2nd grader in her 2nd grade language arts curriculum. And by live lesson, I'm not going to take you minute by minute through the whole thing. It does take about 25 to 30 minutes for her to finish a lesson completely. So that would be very long. But I'll take you through each part of the components of her completing that lesson and what that kind of looks like for a child that is very on level for a 2nd grader. Before we get into the lesson, I just wanted to show you what the curriculum looks like in case you are less familiar with it. This is the course book, and this is where you do a lot of the teaching, and they do some independent practice on different language arts related subjects. There's even some geography and art mixed in there. Then there is the reading component, which is one of my favorite parts of the curriculum. The way they do it is that there is I hope you can see that okay. There's a student part, and then there's a parent-teacher part. It encourages you to sit each and every day with your child and completely gauge where they're at in their reading. And it's just a really sweet time to spend with them as they learn to love bigger chapter books and get into some books that maybe are subjects that they wouldn't initially have been interested in. For instance, my son, he has very specific interests. Like, he loves outdoorsy stuff. He loves woodworking. He loves hunting. Those are some of he loves sports. But some of these books are subjects that he wouldn't necessarily pick out off of a bookshelf, but every single time there's not been one book so far that's been assigned in the curriculum that he hasn't loved. Every single time he's like, I loved that book. Even though he's a very like boy's boy, there's been some books that are more geared towards girls that he's really loved, and vice versa. As my daughters started to get into the books too, even though there's some books that are a little more like geared towards like a traditional boys liking, she still loves the characters, loves the books. So we love that part of the curriculum. And then there is the reading booster cards. And I would argue that this is the most important component for your kindergartners, first graders, and second graders in the Good and the Beautiful language arts curriculum. In fact, even though your goal is to do a lesson in the course book each day, I would lead with this and do a lesson based on where you are in the reading booster cards. Let me show you an example. So first they learn the QU sound. We've been working on that. Then they learn silent K. And what's cool is as they write these books, they do it in a way where they're practicing those words in their section a lot. They integrate whatever they're practicing in the reading booster cards right into the book that they're reading, so it all ties together really well. And then right here, they have sentence pyramids is what they integrate into the books. And you'll see that that's reading booster card 4. So now let's see how that lines up with what is in the course book. In the course book, as you flip through, like I said, there is some geography components on this lesson. So on lesson 11, there's a little target here and it says booster card 4. So what that means is your child needs to have mastered booster card 4, and down at the bottom it says read chapter 2 of Wesley and the Wolves before they get to this lesson. If you get to the lesson and these things have not been completed, you're only going to work on these things until they've been mastered before you continue in the course book. And even though if you have a slower reader, it might feel like you're falling behind. Don't feel that way. Your child needs the foundation in these early years of reading. And if that means they take an extra 4 to 6 months or even a year to finish out the kindergarten through second grade reading booster cards, slow down with them, take your time with them, because that will set up their foundation to be able to do really well in the future. I always say slow down to go fast. You need to slow down and be really intentional in these early years, especially with reading and writing, so that they're able to have that really strong base and they'll fly through their older years when they have that strong base. If you push them through, my son took out the pot again. We're just gonna finish up this little intro. If you push them through their curriculum when they're young, they're gonna continue to struggle with those concepts and stay slower with the speed they're working through things when they're in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, because that foundation's not solid. So you might see us take longer with this curriculum, because even though it's 120 lessons, it's 120 lessons based on how well they're doing with their reading skills in these reading cards. So you might have some days where you're just working on these skills. The Good and the Beautiful also has an app that if your child needs more practice with these booster cards, you could have a day where you're not in the course book at all. And you might just be using the booster cards and those app games to complete a lesson for the day, and that's your check for the day. You might not even be in the course book at all. So anyways, before we got into the live lesson, I just wanted to give an overview of that curriculum, what to expect when you're getting into it, how to use the curriculum, so it makes a little bit more sense when you see us working with it today with my second grader. So come along and see how a second grade lesson goes for us. Hey guys, we are almost done with our homeschooling day. My little I don't know if you can even see where he went. My little two are done with school and they're gonna go play quietly. Our older two are on their last subject of the day, which is language arts, except you have some typing to do still, don't you?
Yeah.
So typing and language arts, and you just have language arts, and then we are gonna do piano practice today. So then we're done. We're gonna wrap up before lunch today, so it's been a good day. And Miss Olivia is going to do a lesson with you guys in her language arts to kind of show you how a second grade lesson goes. So here are the reading booster cards. This is the page she's on. You'll see as we go through, you might see in future videos also, that all of her pages already have stickers, and that's because this is in near perfect condition from her brother using it. So he has all the original stickers on there. And then I have special stickers for Olivia. These are Olivia's stickers. So we just put new stickers over these ones. They're obviously very different, so we can tell which pages she's passed, huh? And we're gonna pass this page today, aren't we?
Yes.
And then we're going to read
Wesley and the Wild Wolves.
Yep, chapter 1 of your book. And then we will do the lesson in here. We're on this lesson.
Yay!
So that's what it looks like. Page 1 and page 2. She's got, this is the part I work with her on.
And then this is independent work.
Yep, that's the part you do all on your own, huh? So for reference, it is 12:25 when we are starting this, so you can see how long each part of the curriculum takes. All right, go ahead. Remember, what does QU say?
Quest.
Qua. Okay, so read the title and then read the little
Quick,
poem.
come and join my quest. We'll bring a quilt to Queen.
I am never over you, and I don't know why I'm like this. Why I never...
All right, now we're in our content book. When we write sentences, we always start the first word with a uppercase letter, which is also called a capital letter. When writing a sentence, we should not use uppercase letters in random places
Just how beautiful you are. Even when my faith is falling, you're still carrying my heart. My heart is covered in your love.
Oh, are you missing something?
Oh, a period.
Yep.
It is
So just an update, she is now working on her independent practice and it is 12:40. So we started at 12:25, now it's 12:40. That is 15 minutes of work between the reading booster card and her lesson. And now she's doing the independent work, which sometimes takes 5 minutes, sometimes takes 10 minutes. And I will say today was a really quick day with the reading booster cards. Sometimes when we're being introduced to a new concept or spelling rule, we might spend like 10 minutes just on that. But it's rarely ever longer than 10 minutes. I wouldn't say we've ever spent more than 10 minutes on the reading booster cards. So she's gonna do that. I'm gonna check how my 4th grader's doing and make sure my kindergartner isn't up to too many shenanigans playing independently over there. Okay, so it took Olivia only about 5 minutes to finish her independent practice. Sometimes that takes 5 minutes, sometimes that takes up to 15 minutes. Now we're gonna read Wesley and the Wolves, and we're starting that at 12:50 because she was actually ready for me, but my son had a question about his language arts and I needed to help him with that before he could move on. So he is all set to go and working on that. And now we are continuing our language arts together. You ready?
Yeah.
In the darkness.
And watched and washed his hands. Mother sat down.
Set a bowl.
Sat a bowl of berries and cream. Cream and
Wow, exclaimed Wesley. Thank you, Mother. This is the biggest breakfast I've ever had. All right, so we just finished chapter 1 of Wesley and the Wolves. It is 1:10. So it took us about 20 minutes, and that was with a couple interruptions from my other children as well. When you have 4 young kids, it's hard to get through anything uninterrupted. So with those interruptions, take 5 minutes off. So that was about another 15 minutes. So that means it took us about 15 minutes to do her lesson. You can put that down, silly. About 5 minutes for her to do her independent work, and then another 15 minutes to read our chapter of the assigned reading. So we're all done with school today. Are you excited?
yes.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below if you haven't already for more homeschooling content. If you have any questions about how to teach language arts to your children or how to use the Good and the Beautiful curriculums, please comment below and I'd be happy to answer that in a future video. Have a wonderful day. God bless. See you later.